Okay, we're going to talk about full range scales, and this is a way to move a standard C major scale shape up and down the neck, the length of the whole neck. Typically a C major scale is played by most people in this position. Usually starting with the second finger on the root note and ending with the pinky on the octave. So we have second finger, pinky, first, second, fourth, first, third, fourth. And that's how most people play a basic major scale. Now the principle of a full range scale is to move this shape throughout the length of the neck. One thing remains true even though you're moving around. The fingers you use for this scale shape stay connected to these particular intervals. For example, your second finger is always going to play a root. Your fourth finger is always going to play the second degree. Third degree is always played by the first finger. The fourth is played by the second finger. The fifth is played by the pinky. The first finger is played by the interval of a sixth is played by the first finger. The third finger is played on the seventh, and the octave is played with the pinky, the fourth finger. So no matter where you are in the neck, those fingers are always connected to those intervals, and that's very important to remember as you travel up and down the neck. That's going to keep you from getting lost and keep you from getting off track. So here's the first move. Anytime you switch a string, you're presented with a choice to make. So for example, I play the first two notes of the major scale. Okay, now I'm going to go to the third note, which is an E. I have a choice of either continuing up the scale like this in this position, or going up the string, the A string, with my first finger to an E here. I can play an E with the first finger here, or I can switch up a whole step and play it here. But notice the index finger is always playing the major third. First finger, first finger. So if we choose to shift, then we can continue up the scale like we would normal. First finger, second, fourth, first, third, fourth. As opposed to so that's the first move that you can make. When you're going to the major third, instead of going up scale as you normally would, shift up a whole step with the index and can finish out the scale that way. Okay, here's the other move that you can do. If you're going to go to the sixth degree, okay, now I'm at the fifth, and now the sixth is going to be on the next string. Once again, I'm posed with a choice. First finger on the sixth degree here, or shift up the D string to the sixth with the first finger, and then go to the octave. There's the fifth degree, shift sixth, but you notice that still the fingering is the same. To end the scale, I have first finger, third finger, fourth finger. So that never changes whether I do it like this or if I shift it up like this. So now I'm posed with choices. I can do the scale a number of ways. Here's the first way. Second way is to jump to the major third with the first finger. The third way is to go to the fifth and then jump up to the sixth with the first finger. But interval-wise, it's always the same with my fingers. Even if I go up the A string, I can go jump with the first finger, jump with the first finger again, and I still have not changed my fingering for the major scale. Okay, now here's the last piece of the puzzle concerning ascending the scale up the neck. So when you reach the octave, you have to slide the pinky to the next note in the scale, which is the second. So I go to the octave, and then I shift up a whole step to the D note, which is the second of the scale. It's almost like you hit the reset button. Whenever you hit the octave, you're hitting a reset button to go for another octave. So shift to 2 with the pinky, and then jump to 3, and then jump to 6. Root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, octave, slide to 2, jump to 3, 4, 5, jump to 6, 7, octave. Now I just did 2 octaves of the major scale. I can make different choices though. I can start with root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, octave. Now I can do my shift to 2, major third, 4, 5, 6, 7, octave, slide to 2 again. Or I can do it like this. I can go root 2, 3, 4, 5, jump to 6 with the first finger, 7, 8, slide to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, octave. Or I can, yeah, well, that's just a few ways to do it. So that's how you ascend. Now here is the problem. There's a little bit of a problem when you kind of get to the higher notes and the lower notes. The fingering's not going to really work out. So if I go do a full range C major scale all the way up to the octave, now all of a sudden I can slide to 2, but you know, it makes no sense to play the major third with my first finger. There's really no need to do it. So you have to improvise a fingering when you get to the corners. So when I'm up top, I play the third and the fourth with the third finger, fourth finger. So you just kind of have to improvise a fingering or kind of think of something that works logically when you get up to the corners, into the corners of the neck. So there are the rules. 3 basic rules in ascending your full range major scale. One is to jump to the major third with the first finger, and then to jump to the major 6 with the first finger. And finally, when you hit the octave, you slide your pinky to the 2, thus continuing the next octave of the major scale. So once again, I'll do it one more time just to illustrate. So we have root 2, jump to major 3, 4, 5, jump to major 6, 7, octave, slide to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, octave, slide to 2, and then improvise a fingering. Here's your major third and your perfect fourth. Now, down low, I can go open, E, major third, F, G. Now once again, this is not the typical fingers you would use in the major scale. However, I'm improvising a fingering because I'm kind of shoved into the corner of the neck. So open 3, 4, 5, and then open 6, 7. Now I'm in position, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slide to 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump to 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4. So there's many ways to travel up and down the neck. There's not one set way. You can experiment with shifts and jumps and just kind of see what kind of paths you can create going up and down the neck. So that's ascending. So the next video we're going to talk about descending, going from the very top of the neck to the bottom of the neck with a C major scale.